The 70-year-old woman decided to get a divorce. For 50 years, she had believed she was living in a fairy tale, until one day she finally came to her senses. It had all been nothing but an illusion. When they were young, her husband, who came from a poor family, had promised her that once he made money, he would take her around the world. He held her hand, made a pinky promise, and silently wished upon that vow. Like a fool, she had believed in that promise wholeheartedly. 50 years had passed in the blink of an eye. She had toiled without complaint for half her life, her devotion never wavering. But some people can't withstand the test of time. He had completely changed. He became obsessive over every trivial matter. Electricity bills, water bills. Every single expense had to be meticulously calculated. She thought he was saving money for their trip, so she never questioned it. But the man took her tolerance for granted. If she came downstairs a bit late, he would drive off alone, leaving her calling out behind him, completely disregarding her difficulty walking. If she came home late, he would lock the door, forcing her to freeze outside all night, no matter how cold it was. If she ate a little more than usual, he would curse at her, calling her a pig, with no regard for her dignity whatsoever. The promise she had waited 50 years for had ultimately come to nothing. She angrily tore up the newspaper and stormed out. It was the first time she had ever considered divorce. While doing housework, she accidentally discovered her husband's account book, only to realize with shock that he had secretly bought 4 properties. But these properties weren't for their retirement. He had given them all to his 8 brothers. She remembered when her mother was still alive. They were so poor they could only send her to the cheapest nursing home, placing her in the coldest room. Yet this man, who owned so many properties, refused to spare even one for her mother. At that moment, she made up her mind to leave him. As usual, she went to the market and bought the finest ingredients to entertain her husband's 8 brothers. After preparing the meal, she hid in the bathroom, silently looking at her mother's photograph. When the feast was over and her drunken husband had passed out, she packed her belongings and quietly left.